Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm a spirit channeler and oracle card reader who channels both light and shadow energies in my readings, which means if you're easily triggered, please find yourself another reader. For those of you who still remain, today's reading will be on the topic of what does my boss really think of me? You have 4 piles to choose from left to right, piles number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pause the video if you need some more time to choose your pile, and I will see you in your timestamp. Hello, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading if you chose the tourmalated quartz. So, what does your boss think of you? Your boss thinks that you are inexperienced and you are quick on your feet to learn new things. They think that you are fresh out of school and that you don't have the experience to back up the knowledge that you think you have. Now, I think your boss thinks you're slightly arrogant, but in a naive way, in a way that someone who just wants to jump in and learn everything that they can and do everything that they can and do it to the best of their abilities. So it's not an arrogance where you think you're better than everyone. It's an arrogance where you think that you can learn quicker than everyone who has been at the company longer than you. And that very soon, in a shorter period of time, you'll be able to do your job better than them. And in addition, will be able to take on more tasks than your coworkers on your same level, in your same position. So your boss sees you as having a lot of potential, but they also see you as someone that they have to monitor, like a father, because we have this father card here. So they see you as someone that they have to mentor, someone who has like a lot of, we have like 3 wand cards here. Someone with a lot of energy who you need to calm down a little bit. We have this child nature card here. Someone who's very childlike. You're probably very young. I'd be surprised if you aren't very young watching this pile. You're probably fresh out of college, fresh out of university, fresh out of a training program, and you are eager to dive into the workforce. You're probably the youngest person on your team, or one of the youngest people on your team. So, yeah, with this, again, you also have this Yang card, which is very fire energy, and this poised card. So you're very enthusiastic, very, very enthusiastic. But with this envy card, you have your eye on bigger prizes already, like rather quickly. You are very, how do I say? You're very watchful of other people, and you pick up things by watching and doing. That's the way you learn. I'm sure you're also book smart with this Page of Pentacles, but you pick up things by having experience and by watching other people do it. So you're very watchful. You pay attention to things that your other coworkers do who are in the same position as you, and you also pay attention to what other coworkers do who are not in the same position as you. If they're in a, like, whatever other position, you also pay attention to what they do. You're almost like you have a kind of supervisor mentality, which is going to be great for you in the future when you are a supervisor. But I feel like when you started this job, you started it with the intention that you would. It's an entry-level job, and you had the intention that before a year's up, I'm seeing before a year mark, you will have gotten a promotion to a higher position, a different position. You probably specifically know what position you want, and which is part of the reason why you're also watching what those other people are doing in that position, even if it's not yours, because you have it in your mind that soon, within a couple of months or a year max, you're going to be in that position that they're currently holding. So you're waiting for an opportunity to open up, a space to open up. You're very watchful of the ins and outs of the companies, how long people last in their positions, the way the manager schedules things, how they move around, how the workers move around in that position that you're hoping to attain soon. You're also watching the way they do their job, what tasks they have to fulfill, what errors they may make, so that when you do get to that position, you don't make the same errors, and that you're quick to learn, right? Because you don't have experience in that position, that you want, the higher position. And you may not even have the education to back up applying for that position later on. So you're very watchful, and you're absorbing through sort of osmosis, absorbing through watching, to be able to pick it up very quickly when you do apply, or when you do ascend to that position, if you hope that you'll just get promoted within a couple months. So you dove in like head first, with the intention that you would rise very quickly. So as a result, you went into this company, and I really feel like you've only been there for a couple months. You dove into this company head first with a lot of enthusiasm, and with a lot of rushed energy, a lot of fast energy, a lot of excitement, and a lot of diligence and focus. So, and courage as well. You may be helping out your coworkers. They know that they can depend on you. Your manager and / your boss knows that he or she can depend on you. So they see you as being very dependable. But they see you also as being kind of like their son or their daughter, who they have to sort of mentor in a way, and who just, because I really feel like there's probably a big age difference between you and your boss. And if there isn't a big age difference, it's just that it's a difference in the temperament. Your boss is much more calm than you are. You're probably a fire sign. You don't have to be, but you could have I would be surprised if you didn't have a fire sign in one of your prominent astrological placements, like in your moon, your sun, or your ascendant. One of those three is most likely a fire sign. With this Exorcist card here in the corner, your boss sees you as someone that they need to refine. You need refining before you can take on more responsibilities. I see you as being eager to jump in to take on more responsibilities. So if you ever feel that your boss is overworked, or that they have some extra jobs that need to be done, you're the first person to pipe up and offer your services, even if it means working overtime. You say, you're only supposed to work a couple of shifts a week, a certain amount of shifts per week, and say someone calls in sick, or someone has a doctor's appointment or something, or the workload that day is really high, really heavy, and your boss needs an extra hands on deck. You're going to be one of the first employees to offer to come in on your day off to help, and also to stay overtime and help with duties that may not even be your own, with duties from other people, and not only necessarily duties from the other positions that are higher than you, even duties from the positions that may be slightly lower than you. You'd be the first person to help them and stay after your shift is done to help them with their job if they need assistance. So your boss definitely sees you as being smart, but being inexperienced and young. They do see your potential. They do see your desire to have more responsibilities, to be a supervisor or to move on to another position. They definitely do see that. They are looking at you potentially for the future, right? But like I said, you need some refinement, you need some more training, you need some more experience, okay? But with this Fates card here, I feel like your boss does feel like you are destined for greater things, destined to move up in the company. So they are thinking about that, but it's not going to happen right now. I need you guys to be patient. You guys are really, really kind of anxious energy here. Another thing I need you to be careful about is getting into confrontations with other coworkers with this card here. I can't ignore the Seven of Wands card. You may have a little mouth on you, or you just may have a way of speaking or doing things that may come off aggressively to other people around you. Like, say someone is doing a bad job at their job, you may rush in to fix it, right? Which you have the best intentions, right? Because you want the company to look good. If say you're a housekeeper, for example, and the room is, you happen to pass by one of your other coworkers' rooms and you see that they didn't make the bed properly or that they didn't sweep the floor properly, you might be the first person to jump in and point it out to them and say, hey, you didn't do that right, you didn't do this right, or point it out to the manager, or go get a broom or whatever and go do it yourself and fix it. With all the best intentions, of course, but you have to be mindful of the way you may come off to other people. So your coworkers might see that and they might think you're a snake, going behind their back and informing their coworkers of informing their superiors, their managers, of their mistakes, right? And to be honest, with your personality that I'm picking up, I do feel like in the back of your mind, part of the reason why you're doing that is because you want to diminish the personality or the way that your manager views your competition, so that it raises you in your manager's eyes, right? That's definitely one reason why you are doing it. I'm not going to brush over that and act like it's not a reason. But of course, another main reason is because you want everything to be perfect. You're a bit of a perfectionist and you want everything to be the way it's supposed to be, everything to be in order. So if something is out of order, you want it to be in order, even if it means you have to do it silent, like in the corner and no one notices. It needs to be done, period. But with all this Wands energy, I feel like you kind of have that Leo type of energy where, yes, it needs to be done, but it's also best if other people see you doing it, or other people know that you did it, right? Or other people know that you fixed it. You need other people to know how great of a job you're doing, specifically your boss, of course, because they have the authority, but you need everyone around you to know what a great job that you're doing. So be mindful of that, because I do see you getting into some sort of clashes with some of your coworkers during the duration that you are employed at this company. Chances are it's not going to be a confrontation with your boss, but of course it's going to reach your boss if you're having arguments with other coworkers. So just be mindful of the aggressiveness with which you can come off when you are too eager to please and to show off. You have a little bit of a show-offy attitude. All with great intentions though, because like I said, you don't see yourself staying in this position for very long. So if the average ascension rate or a promotion rate, I should say, at this company is 2 years, for example, you want to cut it in half and you want it to be a year. You want to almost win the prize of the person who took the least amount of time to ascend or to get a promotion, right? You probably resonate with, well, when you were younger or a teenager, having a lot of trophies and awards in your room, future aces, if they still give those out at school, depending on where you live, but like, awards and and stuff from your teachers, great report cards, great comments from your teachers during parent-teacher interviews and stuff like that. So you're used to receiving validation from other people for your hard work. And now that you're in the workforce, you're expecting the same types of validations. But unfortunately, in the workforce, people don't always give you those validations, especially like verbally. You get the validation maybe after a year or two when you receive a bonus or you finally receive a promotion, or maybe you never get it and maybe you apply and then you for the promotion and you don't get it. So the workforce is not like the home and school, because I see you guys as being fresh out of school. I'd really be surprised if you weren't. In school, you do great, you get A+, and also you also get a commentary from your professor. If you write a great essay, your professor, especially if you hand it in online, they'll write comments in the margins. Or even if you hand it in on paper form, they'll write comments in the margins, and you can even talk to them about it after class, right, and discuss your paper further and receive feedback and that sort of stuff. So you're expecting the same type of energy in the workforce to receive these feedbacks and these approvals and praises, but it's not really, they don't usually come in the workforce. People in the workforce expect you to just do your job and do it properly. So you're not receiving the accolades that you expect and that you crave and that you need. So you need to be mindful of being too pushy with your energy to receive it. And as a result, rubbing your fellow coworkers the wrong way and them all sort of resenting you and seeing you as that kind of teacher's pet energy, but in the workforce, so like boss's pet sort of thing. Okay, but like I said, you guys do have a lot of potential to be supervisors, managers, and to move up in positions higher than this entry level position that you're currently in. But be mindful of your temperament, because if you're very watchful. So I know you're also watching people higher than you. Watch the temperament of your boss, your manager. He or she probably is much more calm, much more mature, and much more polite, genuinely polite to their workers and their customers and patrons and other employees and stuff like that. So try to mimic that. Try to be genuinely polite to everyone, and not to be a pushover, but I feel like when you're polite, it's more of a means to an end. Try to just be genuinely interested in when you say like, oh, how was your weekend? Try to actually be genuinely interested in the weekend of your fellow coworkers instead of just searching for information, right? Okay, so I hope that helped you. And I will see you in my next reading. Hello, pal number 2. Welcome to your reading if you chose the Midnight Laced Obsidian. So what does your boss think of you? My, oh my, oh my, oh my. Basically, just to sum up this reading in a sentence, your boss essentially thinks that you could be their boss. Let's just say that. Okay. Just to sum up the reading, your boss thinks that you could be their boss. Now, it could be that they think that you could literally be their boss in that company, or it could mean that they think that you could ascend or move on to far greater things than they will. Yeah. Basically, you're destined for greater things. Than them. They feel like you can just be amazing. So the Emperor. They think you are extremely logical, extremely organized, someone who's destined for success, someone who takes charge of a situation, someone who's a strong leader, someone who is really disciplined, someone who can take charge of a situation, someone who could own their own business, or someone who could run someone else's business with such effectiveness that it could potentially rival their own capabilities of running the company. They may even feel like you could easily open a competitor company. If they are a high manager of this company, or they even own this company, your boss that you're inquiring about, they may feel like you have the skills and the talent to actually even open your own business that directly rivals their own. Nah, okay. With the World card, they definitely feel that you're destined for greater things. The High Priestess, they feel that they see you as being highly intuitive, almost psychic, regal, like almost otherworldly. They see you as being very helpful with the Samaritan card. You go out of your way to help your coworkers and to help other people. They see that you have a kind heart and you're a kind soul. They can count on you for assistance. If ever they need extra help at the company, they could count on you to help wherever you can. And they really appreciate that about you. Again, with this mother card here, they feel like you are almost like the mama of the company in a way. You are, or they feel like they can entrust new employees to you. So the new employees that they have in the same position as you, they can entrust them to you, and they can take a day off, or they can go on and do other tasks, and they'll be fine knowing that you are safely watching over these new employees, that you are effectively guiding them and helping them and training them even. They know that the company is safe in your hands. So even if there are new people around, they know that they can trust you to oversee things that they are doing and make sure that everything's running smoothly and everything ends up looking the way that it should look, and the final product comes out the way that it should be. Right? They know that things won't really go wrong while you're in charge, while you have these people under your care, these new people under your care, these new employees. So you may even be a supervisor at this company. I'd be surprised if this manager, this boss of yours, hasn't already promoted you to a supervisory role, because this is or you probably already have a pretty high position in the company. So if you don't have a very high position in this company, I would apply for a promotion, because I'm pretty darn sure you're going to get it, because they're going to be very afraid of losing you. For sure. With this Dreamer card and this Rebel card and the Gambler and also the World, they see you as being someone who is kind of someone who moves to the own beat of their own drum. You don't really fall in line with other people. Again, I'm seeing with this Indecision card, it's weird. It's like you're reliable, but at the same time, your boss sees you as someone who could easily give their notice next week or next month and leave the company and move on, because they really see you as destined for bigger and greater things. And you are someone who values their freedom. So you might not work overtime. You might not even work full time. Maybe you only work part time, or maybe you're very particular about how many hours per day you work or how many days per week you work. About maybe you're very particular about the way they schedule you or something like that. But within your set boundaries of how many hours a week you'd like to be scheduled, you are at their beck and call to help them when a fire erupts or when something needs fixing or when they need extra hands on deck to do something. Within those hours, within those days, you are at their disposal, and you are eager and you love helping where you can. But I see you as being someone who very much values their freedom. So on your days off, you might be hesitant to come in on your day off if they ask you to, or at least to not do it very often, right? They see you as artistic, creative, intuitive, psychic, a free spirit. They see you as you probably have a side hobby that they kind of know about. Like maybe you're very artistic, maybe you're a musician, maybe you're a painter or something, or you can sing, and they see you as just having a star quality that they know that in the future you're going to go off and pursue that dream. So if it's not you owning a business that directly competes with their own, you are going to be your own boss in the future. And even if it's you contracting your services out to other people, but doing something artistic, something that you actually love to do. So they see you as someone who has other dreams and who is most likely going to be substantially great at these dreams, these aspirations of yours. You may have shared these aspirations with them, but even if you haven't shared them at all, they're picking it up energetically. They're just picking up that you are just magnificent. So they see you as being very truthful and someone who speaks their mind. They can count on you to tell them the truth, tell them everything. If something is going wrong, they can count on you to come to them directly and tell them what's wrong and what needs fixing in the company. Even if for other people who are more meek, it may seem to them like they're overstepping boundaries. They don't have that problem with you. I do see you as being very respectful. Emperors are usually always very respectful. I mean, of course you have the rogue ones, but I do see you, especially, and also the high priestess. She's respectful. It's only when you piss off a high priestess and an emperor that they assert their authority and their power on you, right? But she or he, your boss, sees you as someone that they can count on to come to them when there's an issue. If there's an issue with two other coworkers who are fighting with each other, or one who's fighting with you, or even if it's an issue in the company, the way the company is run. If you see some holes in the effectiveness of the way that the company is run, they can count on you to come tell them. In fact, you're probably one of the coworkers one of the workers who are in their office the most at your own volition. No one has to force you to go into your boss's office. You request to go in there. You go in there eagerly at your own volition to assist where you can and to inform them of things where you can. You are the first person to try to fix issues, okay, and bring in drastic changes in this company. This company is probably thriving since you've been employed there. They've probably enacted new policies or changed old outdated policies, or added new things, or it just might be running better and more smoothly since you started working there, or whenever you're on your shift. Maybe, whenever you're working, they can count on you. Okay, this guy's at the counter or this girl's at the counter. I know everything's going to run smoothly. And those days when you have your days off, there might be little problems, right? And then they know, okay, she's coming in tomorrow, he's coming in tomorrow, they're going to fix it. Or tomorrow, I know I don't have to worry. Your boss probably has to come down from the office several times a day when other people are on shift to check to make sure everything's running smoothly. But when you're on shift, they probably only come down like 2 times or 1 time in the day, or maybe they don't even come down at all, because they can trust you. They know that you have everything handled. And if there's ever a problem, you're going to go find them, or you're going to handle it yourself, and you're going to handle it very well. Very, very well. Okay. With this to the C card, again, I'm also seeing that they see you as someone who is probably not going to stay very long, or who is not going to be content staying in the same position within the company for very long. So they know that they're going to have to give you a promotion eventually if they haven't already given you one. And with this Seven of Swords, they see you as someone who is going to take their experience and everything that they've learned and all their skills, right? And move on very quickly and very easily and effortlessly to their next job, to their next employment, or to their next creative endeavor. And they know that you have a lot of skills on hand that are beneficial not only to this company, but to any other company that you may apply to. So they highly value you. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you're their favorite employee. Seriously. Like, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you are their favorite employee, one of their, probably the favorite employee they have ever had in the history of them managing that company. So they see you as being extremely strong. With the Strength card, if I didn't say that, nothing gets to you. Nothing restricts you. You can fix everything. Whenever a problem arises, you can fix it, right? With this Mending card, nothing can throw you off balance. Nothing can blindside you, or at least nothing has ever blindsided you in the history of you working for that company, which is why I told you if you're on shift, they probably never come down from their office to check, or only come down 1 time to check for the whole shift when you're on shift, because they know that you can handle anything and you're quick at making decisions. They see you as being very quick of the mind, quick with getting a job done. You're probably one of the fastest workers that they have of getting whatever. If you have a job where you have to do something manual, you're going to do it the best. You're going to, I mean, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but you're just going to do it the best. You put a lot of care and effort in your work, and they definitely see that. They appreciate that a lot. They really admire you. They admire you. You are their favorite. You're their favorite. You're their shining star. Seriously. So, if you haven't already asked for a promotion, yeah, maybe you should. But definitely you're going to be the front runner for any promotion if you just let it be known that you'd like it. Okay, so yeah, that's your message. I hope that helped you. Do let me know if it resonated, and I will see you in my next reading. Hello, pal number 3. Welcome to your reading if you chose the Lemurian Quartz. So about 5 cards extra really wanted to pop out for your group. So it's jam-packed and can't see all of the cards. This one is Messiah. It's off to the side, and I have 3 in my hands that I just can't fit. We have Servant. They really just wanted to pop out Child Magical and Child Nature. So and it's interesting that you got the Queen of Pentacles, and then you got woman holding a coin and man holding a coin. So you're very practical. You're very good with your hands. You're very dependable, very reliable. I feel like you are very generous with helping people, actively gets things done. You're very organized. Uh, you are very dependable. Did I say that? You're very dependable. um, you work very well with people. You are quick at learning. You are very good at your job. You have an abundance of talent. And I feel like your boss sees that. You're not only very, very good at your job, very stable and reliable, dependable, but you are also very talented. And you are talented in other areas as well. You're a very good communicator. You're also artistic. They see you as being artistic. They see you as being a great teacher, a great leader. They also see you as being, how do I say this? Kind of materialistic. You're materialistic. But I don't see it in a negative sense. I'm seeing it as someone who dresses very well. You might very well be the best dressed at your job. Now, I know this is a general reading, so I can hear some of you guys saying, well, I wear a uniform. What are you talking about? You're just very elegant. Or your outside clothes that you come into work with before you change into your uniform is usually nicer than everyone else's. Or just the way you carry yourself with so much grace and elegance, it sets you apart. You walk into a room, people notice you. And it might just be that you're very beautiful. So even if you don't really dress very well, you just walk into your room and people notice you, even if you don't wear a lot of makeup, because you're just naturally very beautiful. Okay. Very elegant, very beautiful, very well dressed. You have an eye for pretty things. You have an eye for detail, and even decoration. You may work in a field that's kind of artistic, where you're an interior decorator, or you may even be a planner, like a wedding planner or an event planner. You may be work at a magazine company or a fashion company or something like that. I'd be surprised if you're not doing something that requires your organizational skills and also your eye for detail and extravagance and beauty. So your boss sees you as being very talented in those fields, and also with communication, particularly with writing. I feel like you have a way with words on paper, or a way of organizing things on paper, or things in the physical, like even if it's interior decorating, like organizing or staging for home viewings. You have a way of moving things around that just makes the atmosphere feel more homely, for home staging, for example. So again, also with this Prince card, you're very charming. You guys are very, very charming. You're very, very charming. You're probably the face of the company. You might be a model. You're the face of the company. You just have that face and that charm and that personality that makes your boss want to put you out in front of the customers, in front of the patrons, in front of the clients, so that you are the first person that they see. Even if you resonate with just being a receptionist, there's a reason why you got that job. You just have a grace about you, a presence about you, a beauty about you, that it's just perfect for the company to have you being the first person that potential clients see when they walk into the office. So you are very presentable, very diligent. With this Messiah card, you're great at helping people. You're really, really great at helping people. In fact, I actually see you actively showing people the way, showing people where to go, like a hostess, for example. You are actively ushering people in directions, or helping them with their inquiries, or helping them in person. You're someone who people just need to see you. with this yin card, a lot of feminine energy. And I don't care if you're a man, because you're just very into your appearance, very well dressed, very well put together, very receptive of other people's energies, very adaptable. You are very adaptable with this journey card. You can adapt to almost any situation. You probably have a job that requires you to move around a lot. Like maybe one day you're working in one location, the next day or the next week you're working in another location. But even if that's not the case, you may have different tasks to do that vary slightly, like every week. And you're very adaptable at moving around and getting things done in different locations. So your boss really sees that. They really admire that. They really appreciate that. And again, with this dreamer card, you're very intuitive. You have great instincts. And you are just you're someone who's very balanced at being a daydreamer and a visionary and being practical. It's kind of difficult to effectively merge these two qualities together, to have them actually work. It's hard to be very airy, very, air sign, water sign in your mind, and then also be very earth sign, fire sign in your practicality simultaneously. So I really wouldn't be surprised if you have a very prominent placement, your moon, sun, ascendant as being either dominant air or water, and then having just a random earth or fire sign to balance it out, or vice versa. Like, you're very balanced. Like your boss can depend on you to not only come up with the plans and the visions for a project, but to also write out the plan for it on paper, or to map out the plan for it on a computer, or to actually do it. You're not just the person who sits on their chair, comes up with the grand ideas, and then hands it over and has the workers do it or the people do it. You not only come up with the ideas, you also roll up your sleeves or roll up your cuffs, because I see you guys dressed. If you're a guy, you have your suit cuffs and stuff, you also roll up your cuffs and you get down to doing it. And you feel like you can do it properly, which you can. Not that you don't think that other people can't do it, because you probably also hire people in the company. I'd be surprised if you didn't. So you have a good eye at hiring people who are very skilled at helping you bring your plan into existence. But you will also roll up your cuffs and help these people who you handpicked to do the job for you. You will help them do it. It's just really coming off as like a fashion designer who, though, especially in one of those big fashion houses, you have the head designer, and then you have a designer under him or her, and a designer under him and her. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're one of people who are one of those designers who is underneath a few other people or underneath one other person. So you're at this reading just wondering what your boss thinks of you, because you have a boss, but you're also a boss. You have people under you as well. You have workers under you as well. So, and if you don't, I would quit your job and move on to a company where your skills are used effectively and where you're appreciated. But quite frankly, I see you being appreciated at this job, and your skills are definitely being used effectively. The only reason why I said that is because I know it's a general reading, and sometimes this might be the pile that resonates most with you out of all four piles, which is why you intuitively picked it. But maybe right now you're not resonating with being in a high position with workers under you. Then this is just a call for you to move on. With this dreamer card here, it would be a call. If that's the case, it would be a call for you to move on. And it would also explain the Six of Cups here, which is an old dream that you had of you just being this artist, this designer, this creator. You need to create. So if you're not creating currently, this is a call for you to move on to a company that will allow you to create, or move up in the company to a position that will allow you to create if you're not already there. Okay, that would be why you got this reading. If you don't resonate with already being in a high position where you have all these responsibilities and people under you to help you out. But the majority of you guys watching this reading, of course, are in this position. And with the Six of Cups, this is definitely a childhood dream of yours that you are living. This is great. So you guys are definitely doing what you were made to do. You're doing what you're great at doing. The only thing I'm going to say is that because I'm lacking wands here, wand suits, and I have a lot of heavy pentacles, you guys are great at planning and great at organizing, great at conceptualizing things. You have a strong attention to detail, but you may work kind of slowly. I don't see you as being someone who works very fast, but you work very efficiently. So when something gets done, you will get it done by the deadline, but you may be the person who asks for an extension of that deadline, and you give the excuse that you're having a slight creative block, or you just need some more time. And your boss knows that you are always going to pull out something of high quality, which is why they'll always give you these extensions. But your boss may feel like you're someone who works at their own pace. You don't work at other people's pace. You work at your own pace, and you're not very quick. So that's one thing I'm going to say. But you don't want to sacrifice your quality. You have another type of quality that you can't get necessarily from someone who's very quick. You may also resonate with being much older, because this kind of energy is just I have a lot of experience. I have like 30 years, 40, 50 years experience in this industry. I've been doing this since I was in diapers. And this might be why you move at your own pace. You're not very quick. Another reason why you have workers under you who are quicker than you and younger than you, who move quicker. You have that kind of longevity that's going to allow you to be in this position, or be in a high position, or to just be strong in your career for as long as you want. And you're not going to be booted out. You're going to retire, and you're going to retire pretty wealthy, or pretty well off, pretty successful, by leaving a name and a reputation behind, and leaving the company behind in a better position than when you left it. You will be remembered when you leave this company. Though do be mindful of the newer generations coming in, who not only can produce almost the same quality as you, but can do it in half the time. Do be mindful of that. But I don't feel like they're not going to be a threat to your position, but you just may end up, as the years go on, you may end up being more and more compared to these younger generations who are coming in. Whether or not they actually work for your company, they could work in competing companies. You may be compared to them. Like say you're a fashion designer and you came out with 10 new looks for the season. Your competitor maybe came out with 20 because he or she's half your age, and they just have more speed, more fire in them. That doesn't mean that your 10 pieces aren't magnificent. But in this age of fast fashion, and I'm just going to continue using fashion as an example, but the energy is the same. In this age of fast fashion and things like that, companies of quality may not be in the forefront as much as they were in, say, the 1960s. And nowadays, it's more about quantity. And I feel like this is what you have to compete with, is quantity. That's just a side note. I'm sure you already know this and you've already seen this. But like I said, it's not going to be a threat to your position. I see you're someone who retires or who never retires and who just ends up dying with their pen still in their hand, like one of those old emperors from Rome. You're just, sorry, that was kind of morbid, but you're someone who probably never retires or who retires at a very, very, very old age. And you're respected by all the new people coming in. You are the pioneer. You have the energy of a pioneer. I'm bringing these cards out because I haven't paid attention to them. Servant, you, like I said, you don't have a problem with rolling up your sleeves and getting the job done when it needs to be done. You're not one of those stuffy people who sits on their throne or sits in their office, their chair office all day and gives out the work and doesn't help when help is needed. You will get down and dirty and actually help people. You have no problem helping people. You have no problem even bringing coffee to your workers when you ask them to work overtime or when you see that they're working hard to meet a deadline, because quite frankly, you understand that the reason why they have to work a bit faster is because it took you so long to come out with the plans in the first place. So now they have to work a bit faster to reach the deadline. So you understand that. So you have no problem going out to bring them Starbucks or whatever, some donuts or whatnot while they're working, because you do understand that you work a bit slower than other bosses in similar positions, and now they have to pick up the pace to reach the deadline. Magical, you are very connected to spirit, and even if you don't realize it, because you're very in the physical realm, you're very practical with all these pentacles, you definitely are. You are channeling your creativity from spirit. This is why you're going to have longevity. You may have ancestors who have done this type of job. This may be a skill that has been passed down to you, just passed down to you, maybe from your father, from your mother, from your grandfather, your grandmother. And they're in the spirit realm assisting you. Or even if you don't actually know about it, you may have had an ancestor who had these skills, who wasn't able to reach the level that you're able to reach. And they're almost living through you in a way. This nature card. You work well when you are at peace, when you work at your own schedule, like I said, and when you are surrounded by nature and animals and things that make you happy, things that put you in a light, happy state. You are like very balanced at being both an introvert and an extrovert. It's like you can go away in a cabin or in your house out in the woods for a month to finish a project or finish a painting. And then you can come back and put it in an art gallery and chat with hundreds and hundreds of people and have wine and tea with hundreds of people and chat them up and get so many buyers for your painting, and you're just very charming. So you're very balanced, and you're also very good at teaching people hands-on how to do things. So when people come under your care, new employees, they learn much faster and a lot more in a shorter period of time than they would in school or underneath someone else. You're probably one of the best people for a student to have an apprenticeship with. You probably are high in demand for apprenticeship positions. Okay, so this reading is getting a bit long, but I really love your energy. This is someone who, this is a mentor. You guys are mentors. Seriously. This is someone who anyone would dream of being being mentored by. You may even end up writing a book, because I told you have a way with words and writing them down on paper. You may end up writing an autobiography one day. Okay, so great job. So your boss sees your worth. I'm surprised you even have a boss with this kind of energy, but like I said, you're very high up and you have workers under you. So even if you technically have a boss, it doesn't really phase you. You end up almost telling them when you're going to get your work done. Even if they tell you you got to get it done by Friday, you're going to say, well, how about next week Friday, or next week Thursday. You end up telling them when you're going to get your work done. So you're essentially your own boss. You're a mentor. You're amazing. You are elegant, beautiful, charming, very well balanced in being practical and intuitive and a visionary, very connected to spirit. I feel like you have an ancestor around you or a spirit guide who you're channeling these inspirations from. You have a way with words, a way with people. You help people. You have no problem actually doing physical labor and helping people. And everyone sees these qualities of you. You're going to leave a legacy behind. You're very talented naturally. Okay, so I hope that helped you. That's great. You guys are amazing. I don't even want to leave. I'm babbling because I don't even want to leave this energy. This is like someone who you would love to have as your boss or your mom or your dad or something. Well, maybe not, because then they're never at home. But I mean, sorry, I probably just ruined the reading there, but you're very loving to your kids if you do have kids, but you do work a lot. So, but it's just your kids, they probably go to school and it's like, oh my God, your mom is who? Your dad is who? Like, you know what I mean? It's amazing. You're like the Victoria Beckham of whatever it is that you do. Okay, I'm gonna stop babbling. I'm gonna have to let you guys go, even though I don't want to. So that's your reading. Let me know if it resonated, and I will see you in my next reading. Hello, pal number 4. Welcome to your reading if you chose the Labradorite. So what does your boss think of you? First of all, I'm going to say that you guys are amazing people. You probably are a social worker or a psychologist or a healthcare worker, a lawyer, or maybe someone who works in a legal business sector. You're coming off very mental health sector, social work sector, philanthropist sector, humanitarian sector, environmental sector, legal sector, healthcare. Did I say healthcare? You probably work in one of those sectors. Basically, your whole job is to rescue people and to help people. We have Messiah, Avenger, Rescuer. Can we be any clearer than that? We can't get any clearer than that. Messiah, Avenger, Rescuer. Cannot get clearer than that. We have the ego card, which is the devil card in reverse. You are very highly intuitive with this High Priestess card. With the ace of, you have both the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Coins, Ace of Pentacles. You come up with grand ideas. You handle grand cases or grand situations, but that are negative, heavy, dense. You with this community card in reverse and the envy card right next to it, you're probably dealing with families or communities that are impoverished or who are having mental health issues or who are disadvantaged in some way. Maybe they're handicapped or something. Maybe you work in a prison. You may even work in the correctional facility, but that's still legal sector as well. You deal with people who have less than you, who have less than society, who are disadvantaged in some way, and you deal with their cases. You deal with helping them. This is what you do for a living. And your boss sees you as being very effective. With this Fool card, they see you as being someone who's very adaptable, someone who has a good rapport with the people that they help, even if they may have never been in their situation before. ever. You're very good at lightening the situation, lightening the atmosphere. You really come off as kind of Prince Harry to me. It's funny because the last reading, I called them Victoria Beckham. I didn't have a person for every reading. It's only the last two readings. And you guys are very Prince Harry. This is who you are. You're someone who may have come from privilege, or who, at least, even if you didn't come from privilege, had the privilege of not being in such a destitute situation as the people who you help, and you absolutely love helping them. You have devoted your life to helping them. You want to help them get out of their situation. You want to help them improve. And you're very good at lightening up the situation, being a jokester, cracking jokes, making them feel better, especially if you work with children. You may get a lot of children who come into your office or come into your line of work who are crying, who are scared. You may be a police officer, but that's, again, legal or sector kind of. You probably get a lot of scared people who come into your office or come into your place of work, and you're great at helping them feel at ease, helping them feel better. Your boss definitely sees that. In fact, if there's actually a scared child who comes in, they will probably assign them to you, like get you to come into the office, or bring them to you. Seriously, you you put people at ease. With this peace card, they can breathe around you. They probably have been stressed out for so long, and then as soon as they come into contact with you, you are able to help them in a way that allows them to breathe a sigh of fresh of relief after a period of destitution and desperation and anguish. It's like you heal them in a way. Again, you might be a doctor. You help people get out of their cycles, a cycle that they're stuck in, with this round and round card. Which is why it comes off to me like you work with people who have addictions, or poverty mindsets, or mental health issues, or who are from broken homes, and you deal with family cases, like custody cases, and stuff like that. Definitely amazing people. Very Prince Harry. What can I even say to someone like you? This is just amazing. Your boss thinks you're freaking amazing. Who would not think you're freaking amazing? Why are you in this reading? I don't even know what to say anymore. It's just, I'm almost coming to, oh my God, I'm actually starting to cry. Oh my God. I can't believe I'm crying in a reading. This has never happened before. I don't know. I have to decide whether or not I'm going to cut this out. Cut this part out of the reading. Okay. You guys, there's nothing I can say to you guys. This is going to be the shortest out of all 4 readings, and it's not because you guys aren't remarkable. It's because there's nothing I can really say to you. Your boss thinks you're amazing. The people, your coworkers, think you're amazing. Your family thinks you're amazing. Your friends think you're amazing. All the clients and the customers and people that you help think you're amazing. I don't care if you're a cook, which I don't think you are, because I listed all the sectors that this is coming off as. But even if you're a cook, you are people's counselor. They come in, they talk to you if they have a problem, they ask you for help, you help them. You go out of your way, you go above and beyond the qualifications of your job, even if you're not in the aforementioned sectors. You're like everyone's counselor. Even if you're a janitor in a school, if a kid is crying, you counsel them. You are more of a counselor than the professional counselors at that school. You are more of a assistant, a helper, a rescuer than the teachers and the principal at that school. If you work as a concierge or something, so don't underestimate the impact that you're having in these people's lives who you're helping. And quite frankly, you were put there like you're like an angel on earth. You were put there even if you're not in a particular position where you're actually helping, supposed to be helping people. You are going above and beyond your job and helping people. So I'm going to end the reading there. Do let me know if this resonated, and I will see you in my next reading.